Isn't it wonderful? Good news. The Lord is with us. This is certainly a wonderful world. Here, a great Vaishnav was saying, it's very difficult to remember the Lord. Remember with the parents, when we're children. It is complicated to be controlled in this world because we want freedom. Control is difficult for us. That's true. I remember my mother was always over me. She wanted my ultimate good, but her control was something which was done out of love, but it was disturbing me. Really, it was something that was oppressing me. I remember with my brother, but that was true love she had, but it was difficult for us, because in this world, we are looking simply for a love that we desire, that is simply targeted towards a personal pleasure. I will explain a little bit more. We don't want to be imposed something. We want it to be like we want. It's not possible. So when we love us, but not in the way we want, then we don't like it. Whether it is a mother, whatever it is, we're not, it doesn't give us pleasure. We become fed up with it. I remember the love of my mother, it gave me that effect. After, with age, we understand that I did not have a right attitude. And when we are a child, we are disturbed by it. But in the transcendental world, it is a love that is completely different. We need to experience it to understand what it is. Otherwise, it is not possible. It is so good that the Lord Himself, who controls everything, is conquered by it. Krishna controls everything. Everything emanates from Him. Everything rests upon Him. He controls everything. But this Supreme Controller, it is so good to be controlled by His devotees that He becomes the object of love of His devotees. Can you believe the quality of this world? Us, when we control things, we don't want to be controlled. But the Supreme Controller, He wants to lose this position. So at the same time He controls everything, and at the same time He manifests His kingdom to be controlled. There are always these two aspects in the Absolute Truth. Two opposites that are harmonized in this world. At the same time He controlled all the universes, and at the same time in His abode, in His intimacy, He is being controlled. To the point that Krishna, he walks barefoot in Vrindavan. So much that everything is sweet, soft. So sweet, so soft that the stones are softer than softness itself. Everything is love. So when He puts His feet, it is a festival of love, because all the sweetness of the land of Vrindavan gives all its love for Krishna, to serve the sweet lotus feet of Krishna. It is a world that is wonderful. This is why Krishna is controlled, not simply with the gopis, the gopas, but since He is the Absolute, He is controlled by all living beings, even the wind, even the insects, even the sun, even the moon. Of course, there is something special in His love. But everyone tastes that love according to his relationship with Krishna in a different way. Otherwise, there will be an injustice. If you give your love to someone, And at the same time, that person does not reciprocate with you but starts to love someone else, then this is a frustration. True or not? This is why in this world comes jealousy, passionate crimes. He dared loving someone else. But Krishna is so perfect that everyone feels loved by him, even though there are different feelings. The persons are so satisfied by the love of the Lord that even if the Lord favors someone else, they are more satisfied than Krishna can satisfy another devotee. That's why there's no opposition in Vrindavan, because Radharani, she has so much qualities, so many qualities. She's so much perfect. She's the perfection of the object of love for Krishna that nobody can compete with this. This is why it is the supreme harmony. And at the same time, everyone is also satisfied. There are these two conceptions that harmonize each other. This full satisfaction, and at the same time, there's no jealousy and this desire to exist, so that Krishna has his object of love, Radha, and that Radha has his object of love, Krishna. So this in Vrindavan is there to unite the divine couple. And at the same time, it is also explained that everyone has a relationship with Krishna, or with Radharani, or with Radha and Krishna, etc., etc., according to their Svarup, the form and the feeling that they have. The feeling, the sentiment is our form, because the feeling predominates over the rest. Example, we have a form here. You see my form now. I have a form. I can manifest a big smile, and inside I have hatred. Or I could manifest a joking face, and inside I feel sad. So, for example, when Prabhupada, he will manifest like a grave humor. Myself, I can do it. Not right now, but maybe he was not happy this day. But on that day, it was a great bliss. For example, he was interviewed sometimes where he looked very grave, where he didn't look in bliss. But for him, it was a great moment of bliss, because the bhaktas, when the master, the inner ecstasies, it is so powerful that it may look like externally, to control it, they have a very grave face, but it's just that they're controlling their ecstasy. But the materialist, when they see someone like this, it looks like he is angry. But to see how things look like is difficult to perceive really what's happening in the heart of a Vaishnava. But in Vrindavan, the feeling manifests truly as the form. The form is coming out of the feeling. That's why we have a particular color of body. Each color personifies a specific feeling, or embodies a specific feeling. So naturally, let's come back to Yudhishthira Maharaj. When Krishna wanted to leave, it was very difficult for him to go. The king arrived, because naturally Yudhishthira felt a feeling of devastation. It is impossible to be separated from Krishna, except when the material energy covers us. And the eternal associates of the Lord, they cannot even for a fraction of a second be separated from Krishna. And so, naturally, at the same time, there is this desire to be with Krishna, and at the same time, there's this desire to share Krishna. Yudhishthira was thinking, this is my joy that Krishna leaves for Dwarka to find his queens, his spouses, his children. It's not easy. But at the same time, it is very difficult to see Krishna leave. You understand? What will predominate? 50-50. Krishna must stay a little bit more, but at the same time, I cannot keep it so much longer anymore. It is like that. But it's normal. The more we will practice our chanting without offense, the more it will be given for us to experience the transcendental world. This world is a world of friends. They know you much more than you know yourself. The first thing, when we have such realization, is that we cannot realize how much we are loved. We are surprised by the beauty of these beings. We are surprised by everything. And most of all the Brajavasis are special. For example, materially speaking, we have this propensity in us to walk because the soul walks. The soul speaks. The soul can love. The soul can eat. The soul can drink, play. The soul can fight. Krishna also. There's a battles between Krishna and the Gopas, his friends. They have competitions with sticks. There are games, but sometimes it's chivalrous. When Sridham and Krishna are fighting with each other, it's not a joke. The beauty of Sridham and the beauty of Krishna, they compete with each other. It is just like two jewels that become more and more beautiful when they are together. How their clothes are moving on them, it increases the beauty. It is just like love will express their form in a more beautiful way. So, when we are introduced in this abode, we already know how to do everything. There's certain kind of training for the sadhakas, the sadhanasiddhas. Those who have attained perfection by spiritual practice, there's a training, but not for nityasiddhas. Nityasiddha does not need any training. When they come back, they are already reintegrated automatically in their services. That's the difference. When someone attained perfection and he takes birth in Poma Vrindavan, there's a training. But the Nityasiddha, he does not need any training. He is put for a moment in spiritual illusion in the material world, and when he comes back up again, when his consciousness goes up, he knows to do everything. We don't teach him. He's already situated in his nature. That's the difference. We see in a pastime where Arjuna became a gopi. At one time he asked Krishna to taste, he wanted to taste Madhurya Ras, the love, the amorous feeling. And Krishna, so he made him attain a spiritual form as a gopi, where he was able to get trained and have the association of Krishna. But he was trained. He was trained up. And after he remembered of this relationship. Vrindavan is a land where there's so much variety of feelings, of situations. It goes everywhere, in all in all directions. It's unlimited. Everything must exist there. Because Vrindavan is the origin of everything. This is why this is the land or the world which can simply satisfy the soul, because this is the most intimate abode of the Lord. It is the abode where the Supreme Controller becomes controlled. This is the abode where the Lord becomes only the friend, the child. There's no more, you can't find any more intimacy, higher intimacy than that. Intimacy means love, satisfaction. This is why fear cannot give us satisfaction. Relationship with the Lord out of fear gives us much less satisfaction. It gives some kind of satisfaction, but take the example of Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna showed him his universal form, what did Arjuna do? He had the body who was trembling. He was afraid to see that form of universal form. At some point, the land of Israel, where the people of Israel were hearing the Lord to speak, so they prepared for 3 days. I don't know exactly all the details, but at one point they were ready to hear the Lord speak to them. And when they heard the Lord speak, they felt like they will all die, because it was so much powerful. And then Moses, he said, no, listen. Listen directly, so because then you won't need me. I won't be this intermediate. Now you can hear the Lord directly. And then Moses realized they were not. It calmed them to realize that. But Moses had a friendly relationship with the Supreme Lord. He had also some kind of a friendly relationship. That's because sometimes he will get disturbed by God sometimes. That's why Moses is also a special personality. But the Lord punished him. So his friendship with the Lord there was a limit, because he was chastised by the Lord after that. But Sridham is never punished to lack respect for Krishna. But Krishna is so much dominated by his devotee, that's why it is inconceivable that he starts crying. When Sridham wins, Krishna starts to cry in their fight, after their fight. And he can even joke with Krishna, and that Krishna takes shelter of Mother Yashoda, and she needs she will reprimand Krishna's friends for joking so much about Krishna. Can you believe how far this goes? And sometimes when Krishna cries, their heart melts and they say, oh no, you won, Krishna, it was you who won. And then Krishna is happy again, and then everything starts over. So because the Lord manifests this tendency of a bad player just to give spiritual ecstasy to his devotees, how can we imagine the origin of everything, of such beauty, of such perfection, to act like a lion, or to become sulky? So this is extraordinary. God who wants, for the pleasure of his mothers, the beauty of these pastimes, the love it brings, the stupefaction, surprising. This is what happens in Vrindavan. Everything is fascinating, surprising. But still, Krishna, he takes care of the cows. People nowadays, they prefer to look at a football match, but they don't want to take care of cows. It is like to take care of cows today is not appreciated, it's not respected as a job. But Krishna, he loves animals. He loves his cows, because cows are not these cows are not ordinary cows. They're like mothers. They have so much affection for Krishna. They have milk of an unlimited quantity. It mixes with the earth and makes some kind of like mud. So Vrindavan is, it is a place when we speak about it, nobody except the devotees are interested to hear about Vrindavan. This is why it's not easy to speak about it. If we do not have the qualification, and we simply have the qualification to be afraid of God, fearful of God, then it's very difficult to appreciate Vrindavan. In the opposite, those who are afraid of God will think it is an offense to speak like that of the Supreme Lord. But this is normal. Let's take the case of a president. The president of a nation, there's a side, those who love, who worship the president. If we speak about his private life, they may not be happy with that, because it may not increase the good image of the president. Maybe what he does, it's like against the image of a president. So if we receive certain of these intimate aspects, we might not be ready. You say, no, that's not possible. He's the president. How can he act like that? You don't have the right to speak like that about the president. You're lacking respect about him. So religiously speaking, this is the same thing. When we speak about the intimate side of the Supreme Lord, when he is in his home, so the religious person who worships the Lord as a Supreme Being is disturbed. It's normal, but where is the goal? Is it fear or intimacy? Intimacy means we are accepted in his heart. And fear means that when we don't understand the heart of God, and we're outside of his heart and far from the truth. That's why religiosity is a vision of the Lord that is very far away. Without understanding his heart, we understand simply his action in creation. You understand? But the devotees of the Lord, who are his companions, his associates, they do not have this vision. But still, Yudhishthira, there was still some kind of opulence of the Lord that is aware of, more than Vrindavan. Vrindavan is zero opulence or reverence. But Mathura, Dwarka, a little bit more, opulence. And but we see Yudhishthira, he goes to look, to stop the desire of the Lord to go back into his abode. There's so much love in Yudhishthira that the Lord is controlled. He cannot even go and fulfill his desire. Is controlled by the love of Yudhishthira. This is the power of love. Let's take the example. Yashoda Dulal was given an example that we can understand this. You take a like muscle guy, strong, fat, like tall muscle guy, and we take a small child. The child will take the little finger of the muscle father, and he will bring him everywhere. The father, he will lose all his strength by the love of his child. So this thing exists because it is eternally alive in the life of Krishna. These are beautiful meditations. And by speaking about this reality, we will want naturally to encounter, be introduced in this abode, and meet true love. Thank you very much.